Hello everyone, I'm Mitrixer, and I have a friend with me.
I'm Freezinginferno, and oh my god, look at these graphics!
These graphics are the graphics of Donkey Kong Country. And that's Donkey Kong. He's hip, he's cool, he's got a rad red tie, and he pissed off his old man. But yeah, Donkey Kong Country, welcome to the Let's Play of it. Came out in 1994, and we're gonna be doing, or I'm gonna be doing, Freezinginferno is just along for the ride this episode.
Whee!
A 100% run, or in the game's case, 101%, because Rare is wacky like that. It's just going to be one player, no two-player. That usually causes complications. So let's jump right in and get into the Kongo Jungle and start hijinksing in the Kongo Jungle. So in case if you have never played Donkey Kong Country, which is possible, you know, you might have owned a Genesis instead of a Super Nintendo, the story's quite simple. Poor old DK got his banana stolen by King K. Rool, an villainous, evil, and green crocodile king. And DK wants to get him back. Luckily, DK has a lot of things to help him out, much like extra lives in every single platformer game ever released on the Super Nintendo. It seems like there are lives. And this game, they're everywhere. I mean, you're unless you're like a little kid playing this for the first time, you're not going to run out of lives, because especially in the first level here, you can get like 10, and other levels aren't much of an exception. If you know where to look, you'll just get a bunch of them. And along with the lives, DK can get a second hit if he saves his buddy Diddy Kong. And of course you can play as Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong is cool. He is the character to play as in Donkey Kong Country and the sequel, because while he's not as fast as Donkey Kong, or not as strong as Donkey Kong, he's faster, he's more agile, and you can do cool tricks with his cartwheel. Basically, if you don't play as Diddy Kong, you're not playing.
You a scrub.
Exactly. Now these are animal tokens. If you get 3 of the same type of animal tokens, something special and, to be honest, annoying happens. It doesn't happen in this video though, so instead let's focus on some real animals. Rambi the rhino stuck in a box. This guy, he's an iconic character in the Donkey Kong games, even though he hasn't appeared in most of the Donkey Kong games. He's the first one you run into, and he is generally the most powerful. Anything he runs into, like an enemy or a breakable wall, he'll just knock it right out, no problem. The only downside to him is that he's all big and slippery to use. And speaking of breakable walls, in every level in Donkey Kong Country, except the water levels, there are bonus rooms. And hidden bonus rooms, of course. And they could be like, you know, just run through and get some bananas or lives like that last one. Or be tricky memorization or rhythm puzzles or something like this one. They could be either really easy to find or really hard to find. And they get really hard to find very early on. And besides all that, you know, you get 100 bananas, you get an extra life. That's the basics of Donkey Kong Country. You know, let's just beat the first level here. And yes, I do realize I missed a secret, but any missed secrets will be in a bonus video. Once you beat a level, you do a little dance, and you have an exclamation point next to a stage if you get all the bonuses. Okay. So that's, you know, got all that explained through. We can relax for a little bit. Freezinginferno.
Yes, sir?
What do you know about Donkey Kong Country? What's your experience?
I know quite a bit about Donkey Kong Country. It was my very first Super Nintendo game because it came packed with the system, and I adore this video game right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people, well, a lot of people say they like the second game better, but if you meet someone who says that Donkey Kong Country 2 isn't the best game on the Super Nintendo, chances are that they'll say this game, the first one, is gonna be the best game. And I know Freezinginferno, you like the second game better, and so do I, but we gotta start somewhere.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah. And before I go on talking, check out where this bonus is. Where is it? You're never gonna find that.
You could say that for like half the bonus levels in this game. They get really devious.
Yeah, like, you know, you're gonna have to take leaps of faith for some of them, or just carry a barrel to, like, a wall, like, not even barrels you'd expect could break open walls you have to use to break open a wall is pretty ridiculous. But yeah, like this game, like the gimmick or like a main attraction was its graphics, because it was like computer CGI graphics or something like that, with in a 2D thing. And I don't think it's the first time it happened. Like I don't know when Mortal Kombat came out, because I think that was also kind of the same kind of deal.
Well, Mortal Kombat was like digitized actors, I think.
Okay. So I think maybe this is the first time it happened.
Pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but even then, even with that gimmick, like it still ended up being a really good like platformer with excellent music. Like people will rave on about the music. I know I would.
Oh yeah.
And even with all that in mind, Shigeru Miyamoto didn't like it, and as a response created Yoshi's Island, which was also a really good game, just with a completely different art style.
They both work.
Yeah, like the creation of this ended up making 2 really good game series.
Mm-hmm.
This is a hard bonus, by the way.
Another fun thing to mention about the whole pre-render graphics thing is that this isn't the only series that used it. Oh.
Yeah. I'm usually really good at those too. I tend to get them.
Yeah.
Later on, I think I get better.
Yeah, not the same. I'm pretty good at them. But anyway, a lot of other games besides the Donkey Kong Country games used pre-rendered CGI models or what have you, like Super Mario RPG and the Satellaview only sequel to F-Zero that used it. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're at Cranky's cabin. I'm just showing this off once, just for the sake of it. It's a pretty useless place. He just gives you hints on where stuff is. I guess he tells you where bonus stages are? Like, gives you hints?
Yeah, he does. It's useful in 1994 when you don't have a stable internet connection.
Exactly. But I never really visited him in general, just because, as a kid, I just saw, oh, he's an old dude just kind of degrading you, so I'd rather not deal with that. Here's a bonus. This is another one of those simple ones where you just run through and get a thing. I wish most of them were like this, but they aren't. Like, most of them you'll tend to screw yourself over of any award in general, and just leave with nothing. But luckily, like, in this game, even if you don't beat the bonus, it still counts, unlike the sequels. So that's helpful.
True, but the sequels are a bit more objective-based with their bonus levels, but...
That's true.
By God, we're talking
like
about the first one.
Yeah, like the GBA remake of this, like the bonus stages ended up having like, oh, find the exit or something like that. They tried to make it more like the second game, but the GBA remake was complete ass. So
I never really liked the GBA remakes of the Donkey Kong countries. I don't know. They just seemed a little off. They didn't sound as good. They didn't look as good. It's just nah.
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance couldn't handle like the graphics or the sound or anything, so they ended up just not being good. You're better off just making a full-on like Wii remake or something.
Or downloading the Virtual Console versions.
That too. But I really want an HD game. Even if it's the same thing, just repackaged.
Well, Donkey Kong Country Returns was a start.
It's a start, but I never got to play it because I don't have a Wii, so really I'm asking for too much on my end.
Well, I never got to play it because I picked Kirby's Epic Yarn up over it. Fine game. Fine game, though, but
yeah.
It's just not Donkey Kong Country.
So, here's the water level, the famous water levels of Donkey Kong Country.
But they're actually good.
Yes, these levels are really remembered for their music, and, personally, I love listening to it.
I love that background, too.
Yeah, like, a lot of people imagine, like, the beach to be, like, this overpopulated, like, full of fish and stuff, but this is actually a pretty realistic view of the ocean if you've ever been to it. Just like an endless view of sand, which is a lot nicer than it sounds, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I'm an ocean guy. I like the ocean a lot.
Mm-hmm. Live right next to it.
Yeah, I was by the ocean today, in fact. But, by God, Donkey Kong Country, and we have our new friend.
Yes, this is Ungard, and he's the one that appears in almost all the DKC games more than Rambi, and he makes underwater levels very bearable. Like normally, if you're swimming without him, you have to like keep tapping the button to swim up, but with Ungard, you just use the D-pad.
And there's another good fun thing to him, that he can kill those things.
Yeah, like, if you don't have on guard, you're completely defenseless, so having him is... He can kill almost anything except for the croctopi there. They're called croctopi, I think, right?
Croctopus? Yeah, croctopi, that works. Double on guard.
The only time you'll ever see two animal buddies in the same area.
Actually, I think on guard might be the only animal in all 3 games, or technically.
Yeah, he's the only one that keeps coming back, because they need an animal buddy underwater, and I guess they just couldn't think of a better replacement, and thank God, because on guard's pretty cool.
Yeah, on guard's
Swordfish
great.
are cool.
I like them. Looks so happy.
Yeah. My only problem is that, like, sometimes the auto, like, the game, like, makes him auto-attack if he goes near an enemy, and sometimes that could screw you up if you're not at the right angle or you're close to an unkillable enemy or something. Like those clams, you can't kill those clams, but they're pretty easy to get rid of, or just avoid. There's a whole level dedicated to them that'll come up later on, and it's piece of cake. And I don't think On Guard is even in it.
Yeah, one thing Donkey Kong Country does is, like, theme levels.
Like, okay, we've been in, yeah, that's actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, in every Donkey Kong Country game, there are, like, themes to every level, and there's usually 2 to 4 types of, level archetypes, I like to call them. Like here, we're in the 3rd, jungle level, and there's 4 of them, there's one more after this. And, like, there's gonna be 4 underwater levels. But there's only gonna be, like, 3 cave levels, I think. And later on, like, there are gonna be only 1 of some type of level, which... I think you know what I'm talking about. It's very pretty looking blue world.
Oh yeah, that one. I know exactly what you mean now.
Now, Barrel Canyon. This is the first, I guess you could call, difficult stage of the game if you're new to the concept of it. If not for one thing, if no one told you about how to completely cheese it. Like, right now, I'm going through it legit just to show it off, but most people that play through the game just completely skip this level just because they can.
Guilty.
Yep, same here. The problem is that you can't get this bonus right here if you cheese it. Now, where is the bonus?
Good question.
Yep. And this particular bonus I want to talk about, like the barrels moving up and down really fast, this is really easy to do. Because if you just keep mashing the button, you'll get to the next barrel no matter what.
I gotta admit, I did not know that as a child, and when I found it out, I just slapped myself upon the forehead and said, "Of course!"
Yeah, I figured it out pretty early. I can't think of a time when I didn't do it, so I just never saw those much of a threat. And these bonus levels are really annoying, because you have to guess on where to go, and if you choose poorly, you will not get a second chance, and you'll end up with a crappy reward. But we got an extra life this time, so that's fine.
So with those TNT barrels, do you ever show off the other thing you can do with them?
I think I do by accident, because it's such a useless thing that it's really not worth talking about.
Yeah, honestly, it's there. It's just there. I just thought of it now. I was like, oh yeah, that's in this game. And we're being incredibly vague, because we can.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, there's a pretty good reason it doesn't come back in the later games. Now, I want to talk about something. This level introduces 2 really important concepts of Donkey Kong Country, and that's moving barrels and zingers. Zingers are enemies that'll be the bane of your existence throughout the whole game, and the only way to kill them is with a barrel, or with an animal buddy. While barrels, they will kill you real easily if you're not being patient. So, this level gives you a taste of the things to come. And we're gonna revisit it, actually, because, I want to show off how to completely cheese it.
This is what everyone does.
Yeah, we need Diddy, though, because we gotta jump on the entrance, and you can't do that with Donkey, he's too heavy.
That's a good idea.
So what we do is, we go up here, and, hey! There's a barrel. Jump into this barrel and just completely ruin everything.
It's just amazing you can do this.
And that's not it yet. Yep. Get some cartwheel, some roll jumping going on, pro TAS skills, and do that. And even then, we're still not done. Although this is trickier to do, to be honest. See these two Kremlings? You want to keep the left one alive. And how you do that is, you shoot out from the barrel when the right one is on the ground. That's how I do it, at least.
Okay.
You go back here, and you want to jump on that Kremling. Just gotta time it real right, because the hitboxes in this game are kind of screwy. And here you go.
My god.
This is actually the only way you can get the Kong letters. This is like the O and the G. No, I think it's only the O that's up there.
Yeah,
so.
you could climb on the entrance and get that G right there.
Yeah. And I gotta show off Candy's save point.
Oh god.
This is Candy's save point. That's all you're gonna see of it.
Really?
Yep. So at the end of every world is a boss, and this boss, they're pretty easy. Let's start off with Very Naughty's lair. Naughty has been rude, and has all these bananas, and he doesn't want to share them.
My gosh, look at all them bananas.
Yeah, we gotta teach him the meaning of sharing by beating the snot out of him. And he's very easy, you just jump on him, he jumps higher and faster, but never a threat.
Not at all.
So we seal back all our bananas and leave him there, unconscious, to the wild. And that's it for this episode of Let's Play Donkey Kong Country. I'm Metroixer.
I've been Freezinginferno.
And I'll see you all next time at the Monkey Mines.